Yeah, I think, you really need to be able to do both. If you want to play championship football, you got to be able to run the football well. You got to be able to stop the run, and you got to be able to throw the football, right? You got to be able to stop the pass. So for us, it's always about having balance. I'm super pleased that we've been running the ball as well as we have, especially in the back half of the season, the way that our guys up front have done that. It speaks a ton to the development of that group. You look at our O-line play from week 1 till now, there's a ton of development that's occurred. And, obviously we got some great backs, which make it all go as well, but it does start up front. So the blocking, the lateral line, our tight end group is giving our running backs, it's a big deal. But then also, when we talk about running the football and passing, the fact that people have to kind of respect and honor, what's happening outside as well, because you just can't give us a bunch of freebies because we'll be able to exploit that as well. Yeah, one of the things that we want to be able to do as an offense is create stress, for defense players and coaches. To answer your question specifically, well, it demonstrates their commitment to wanting to do those sort of things. It takes time to figure out how to line up Ty Warner in all these different spots, and it takes practice reps. It takes a commitment from them to want to spend energy and time studying those things before they come into the meeting room, which they've done. And they've done that since the day I've arrived here. We want to do a lot of things. We want to own that period of time from when the one snap ends and the next one begins. So, and they understand that. They know that causes a ton of stress for opposing defenses. But it takes, there's a time investment in there. And so we have to feel like we're getting a return on what we're investing there. And the kids have to be able to do a lot of that beforehand, because you can only spend so much time practicing that stuff. But it's been a total commitment from our guys to be able to be diverse that way. We want to be a really diverse offense. I don't know. It's hard. I don't want to make comparisons to, if they're the best or not. I was asked earlier about who do they compare. There's a few teams in our league I think that probably are similar from a personnel and scheme standpoint. But they're smothering. They don't give you anything. You know what I mean? They're going to play aggressive coverage. They're not going to let you have these easy off throws and kind of go out there and play catch and rally and tackle. They're going to make you earn all the yards that you're going to get. And that's what really sticks out on film with them. You know what? You could probably, yes, I do. Okay, I think every coach probably worries that they don't get to enjoy it because you're so focused on the process. But that's why we do what we do, right? That's what it is. And so you have to learn to enjoy it. I talk to people, recruits and stuff like that. There's a lot of great things about Penn State. But the reality is, if you want to be an ultimate college football player, you got to learn to fall in love with the process of daily improvement. You just have to learn to get better every day. You have to like that. You have to enjoy what that means. And again, the winning, the byproduct is a byproduct of how you do things, how much you play, your personal accolades will all be a result of how much you love the process of getting better. That's a good question. Yes, right. I think it'll give us an advantage every week. I think, people who are great at their craft, they're kind of always studying from a big overview in the offseason. They're kind of aware maybe a little bit of what the trends are in college football, one way or the other. So I would anticipate our opponents are versed in the kind of things that we do, and they've studied it, and they might do some of that themselves. But we do what we do because we think it is stressful for a defense to defend. And so you hope on a short week, that it helps out a little bit more. But again, at the end of the day, it's just a typical week. It's still another week, And when their game was over, I promise you, on the way home, they were probably watching Penn State, just like we were when I got in and said, okay, when's the game on? And we're sitting there, you're watching it, you're taking notes on both teams until you figure out that we're playing, Notre Dame. My frame of reference for it is that I know, like, back in the 80s, they were often competing for, number one AP, polls. There's a ton of Nittany Lion alumni that are out there coaching, Coach Golden being one of them. I got a ton of respect for what he's done on the defensive side of the ball there and his career in general. And, it's cool since I've been able to join here, the staff, my access to the alumni base, and specifically in the coaching world, is really, really pretty impressive. So specifically these two schools, they're two blue blood schools, right? Whatever that means to some people. But if someone said, hey, these two schools are going to play in the national title or semifinal game, people would, well, first of all, they'd be like, what year is it? You know what I mean? Because that's how long the tradition is for these kind of schools. So it's really cool. Yeah, they do a good job of timing up snap counts and things like that. That's very evident on film. Again, similar to what I had said earlier about, them being pretty holistically sound, from the front end to the back end, in itself is a challenge. And so the things that they do are very complementary. They don't run just these one-off packages. They run this package because it complements this package and attacks that protection and benefits maybe this player in their football team. So, again, you're at this stage in college football, they're going to be pretty good on defense. You know what I mean? They're going to be well coached. They're going to have good players, and they're going to run good schemes that are sound. And I would expect nothing less.
How about that? Yeah, I just feel blessed and very thankful for the opportunity I've been given here. And what amazing difference a year makes, And so, but at the same time, Penn State's got a tremendous tradition. And when Coach reached out, I was obviously interested right away, and obviously played against them for 8 straight years, at Indiana, and now going back to play a team from my home state, a team that's known for football in the state that's dominated by basketball, So, but all those things combined just make for a pretty special, matchup, Penn State, Notre Dame, growing up as a kid watching these two teams play a lot, and just be able to be in this position and to be able to lead this group of I say they're really men now. They're not young men. There's a lot of men in that room, that put themselves in position. They've created this opportunity to be able to be playing, to have a chance to go to play for a national championship, whoever wins this game. So I just feel really, really blessed and excited to be able to take the field tomorrow night. Well, those guys, there's no question. I have communication with the guys that I coached there, and I obviously played them, in the first round of the playoffs. And so, there's just talked with one of them yesterday, But bottom line is that when you coach the guys and you invest in them and you get to know them and you bring them into your program, you're never going to stop being a part of their lives, and that will be forever for me, and that's how I coach, and that's how I want it to be. So, there's no question we got a chance to be able to, get it for them. Yeah, I don't think you probably take time to just sit back and really realize what you're accomplishing while you're doing. I think that's pretty normal, and so you'll look back. What you want to do, though, is when you've done this long enough, I think coaches, he made mention of this yesterday and brought some coaches up that have coached for, this is my 33rd year of coaching, and I've never coached, in a game of this magnitude, playing for an opportunity to be in a national championship game, for the winner. So we had other coaches, been doing this for 40 plus years, and this is their first opportunity. So just to kind of let these guys know, hey, this is hard to get to this point. So don't take it for granted. Don't ever, not appreciate the moment. But yet you got to be ready to be able to be at your best. So I think there's a balance there. There's no doubt we don't have time to sit back and just, probably enjoy it the way you wish you could. But at the same time, if you play the way you want to and the way you believe you can, you got a chance to have another opportunity next week. So that's really what this is about, is making sure we put our guys in the best position to be able to play their best tomorrow night. And we believe that's going to be enough to be able to get the result that we want. So to me, we want to make sure, though, that we don't take this for granted. Special opportunity, and we're all blessed to be here. Well, it took time, to be honest with you. And to me, it was building relationships one by one. It takes time to do that. I met with all the players initially, one-on-one. Did that multiple times just to get to know them and to really try to find out, who they are as a person. And that's just kind of who I am. That's what I believe in. And so to me, it was really about building that process with our guys. And then it was a matter of, okay, let's try and find the best way to put our guys in the best position. And with that kind of comes a little bit of maybe some growing pains of doing some things maybe a little bit different in some things, and also just figuring out, hey, what is best for our guys. And we've kind of put some things in. Sometimes we modified them. Sometimes we kept things the same. And we even modified some of those things. And so it kind of took some time to get to that position. But at the end of the day, I think this season had to unfold, because there has to be just that trust, that confidence that, hey, we're going to be able to continue this standard of excellence that the defense has had at Penn State in the past and expects to have every single year. And then once we start playing to that level, I think it just multiplies after that. So, and then you get to know the guys. And I told them too, I said, your teams are built during a season, because the ebbs and flows of a season, going on the road, having adverse situations, being behind, having guys injured, guys coming back, guys making plays, guys stepping up, guys learning to trust each other, guys learning to trust the offense, trust special teams, all those units coming together really makes for a special group. So I just think, until you do that, and once you start going through that, it just really creates, the buy-in just keeps building. And I just think right now it's at an all-time high. Yeah, I would say how much he loves to compete and play. Sometimes you get guys that play at a high level. You know, they may not love to practice. I mean, they bring it on game day, you know, but it's every day, you know. And I think that the other thing to me is that his ability to pick things up. You know, I wasn't really sure, you know, like I've said a couple times, he came to me about wanting to play defensive end, you know, and that sounds great, rushing the passer, get sacks, but like, okay, what's it look like on Tuesday and Wednesday when you're wearing knee braces and you're taking on double teams and you're trying to stop the run and you're playing in C gap and you're getting double teamed, you know, that I wasn't sure what that was going to look like. And to me, his toughness and his embracing that has impressed me. Because I wasn't sure, you know, I knew he could rush the passer. You know, I knew he wanted to rush the passer, but at the same time, we say you got to earn the right to rush the passer, and you do that by getting stops on first and second down, stopping the run. So I think that sticks out to me. But the biggest thing is, you know, we can plug him in at linebacker, and he does a great job. You can put him back at defensive end, or you can put him over the center, or over the guard, or play him out of the box, in the box, whatever. So I just think that's pretty unique to have that position flexibility at this level, and to be able to play at a high level in those different spots is pretty awesome.